Section 6 of Stanton White, A Romance of the New South, by Asa Zadel Hall. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Section 6, Florida Hoe. Who should turn up at the train the next evening but Jenkins? Calmly he announced his decision to accompany us to Florida. "You see," he explained, "that roving disposition which I inherited from my aunt simply drove me down here tonight." I secretly pronounced anathemas upon his aunt and his whole ancestry. Turning, I saw a yellow mongrel dog at my heels. I vented my wrath in a kick that sent him howling across the street, with Jenkins following more quickly than gracefully. I had not noticed the dog chain attached to Jenkins' wrist. "Why, doggone it, Mr. Edkins!" Jenkins always twisted names in some outlandish manner. "You have given my dog a severe fright." "Your dog? What in the name of all the shades of the Romans are you doing with a mongrel, stub-tailed yellow cur?" "He is a hunter," said Jenkins, with as much dignity as he could command. "A hunter? I believe he is. At any rate, he has just led you a merry chase," and I laughed volubly at the figure Jenkins had cut. "How can we get rid of Jenkins?" said I, aside, to White. "Oh, let him go. Poor fellow. He has flunked his exams, and I don't blame him for wishing to go off somewhere. About the first wildcat we encounter will send Jenkins home a much frightened chap." I could not understand White's forbearance, but I decided that if White could stand Jenkins' company, I could. "What, Jenkins? You're not going to take your dog along?" exclaimed White, as the subject of our conversation was making for the baggage room. "Of course. The gentleman I bought him from said that the dog was a first-class— what was I going to say? Oh, yes. He said that the dog would be a necessity where there were wildcats and alligators." White smiled. "They do say that alligators are fond of yellow dogs," said I viciously. Jenkins grew a shade paler, if that were possible. "Don't you think, Mr. White, that he will be useful on a— oh, doggone it, what was I going to say? I gave $10 for him, and— Here, Tiger! Here, Tiger!" At the sight of a Maltese kitten on a neighboring back fence, the dog had torn loose from Jenkins and was streaking in the opposite direction from the depot. The train whistled. "I hope," said I wickedly, as White and I climbed upon the car platform, "that the dog will be hard to catch." Just as the train began to move, Jenkins, red-faced and bareheaded, sank into the seat before us. "Well," he panted triumphantly, "I caught him, but I had to fight the dog and cat, too." Our route lay via Pittsburgh, Chattanooga, and Macon to St. Augustine. At Pittsburgh we caught the through train for St. Augustine. "I don't see why it is, White," said I, after we had been traveling for some time through the mountains of Tennessee, "that these regions are so sparsely settled. Here is land suited to all tastes. If these fertile valleys lay further north, they would be waving with abundant harvest. If further north, these hillsides would be clothed with flocks and herds, and these mountains would be honeycombed by the miner's shaft. Yonder mountain torrent might be turning many a wheel. These wooded heights could supply timber for a nation." "Why don't folks come here to live?" asked Jenkins, much puzzled. "Many are ignorant of Southern advantages," said White. "Some of the Northern people think that because Kentucky and Tennessee are in the South, therefore the climate is exceedingly hot." "I wish they might get a whiff of this mountain air just now," I interposed. "However, I think that which prejudices most people against the South, if indeed they are prejudiced, is not the climate nor the ignorance of Southern advantages, but the unsettled condition of Southern affairs, political, social, and financial. I'd like to see the investment of a fair amount of Northern capital here, if only as an experiment, suggested White. I believe that such an investment would do much to promote a kindly feeling between the two sections of the country. It would give stability to Southern enterprise and confidence in Southern commerce. Let us take note of some of the chief resources as we proceed upon our camping trip, said I to White. Perhaps some of our diversions will make us unconsciously aware of them, he replied. Soon conversation lagged, and hour after hour we gazed silently at the swift-passing landscape. Across dizzy trestles and into the blackness of murky tunnels we plunged, the train swaying and creaking under the strain of sharp curves and high rate of speed. Through the dark shade of forest, and out again among the broad savannas and flower-spangled fields, beside cool lakes that listlessly lapped their white-sanded shores and gleamed like molten brass in the morning sun, with a cabin here and cotton-field there, and an orange-grove in the interval, rushed the famous Southern Flyer, belching volumes of sooty smoke and shrieking through the quiet farmlands like pandemonium let loose. As time passed, the scenes became monotonous. Only here and there an object attracted our attention. Then all objects blur. The rattle of the train becomes indistinct. We rouse up to find that we have been dozing. End of section 6. Recording by James K. White, Chula Vista.